I am Gail Palat, practitioner here at North Hollywood Church. Welcome to the Heart of Healing service. If you are one of our live streamers, please go to the chat and tell us where you're streaming from. We would love to know where you are. And for those of you in person, please take a moment to silence your cell phone or any electronics. Thank you. We begin our time together tonight with a pre-service meditation. So I invite you to get still, close your eyes if you're comfortable, allow yourself to simply notice your breathing and to be present in your space. When your mind wanders, simply bring it back to this mantra, God is the love that I am. I will bring us out of meditation in 10 minutes. Enjoy. And so, as our meditation comes to a close, gently bring your awareness back into your surroundings, into your bodies, and as you feel ready, open your eyes. Welcome to those of you who have joined us while our meditation was in progress. We're so glad to have you here with us, whether you are online or in person.
So, will everyone join us in singing, I Am Open?
I am open. I am open to receive the love in you and me. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive the love in you and me.
Ooh. You are open.
You are open. Oh, you are. You are open. Oh, yeah. You are open to receive the God in you and me. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the love in you and me. I know that we are open. We are open. We are open. We are open to receive the love in you and me. We are open. We are open. We are open to receive the love in you and me. 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 Beautiful. Please be seated.
As you settle in and get comfortable, I invite you to consider these words. There is a power and presence in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. It is a power for good and a presence of infinite love and peace. Join with me now in the awareness of the power and presence as we begin our service in prayer. As I take a deep breath in, I breathe in God. I breathe out all that no longer serves me. Just breathe out the past and breathe out the future, and I just breathe in God, breathe in the presence. As I recognize that God is all there is. God is love and kindness and power, and everything good is God. And I absolutely know, without a doubt, that God is all power, everywhere present and all-knowing. God is right here, right now, right there, right now, everywhere right now. And there is no spot where God is not. And I absolutely know that there is nothing that can separate me from my Creator. I am an emanation of the divine. I know this for myself, and I know this for every being in and out of these rooms, every being on this planet. We are all emanations of God, and we show up as emanations of God in all that we do. And I speak my word for this service tonight, knowing that it is blessed. It is divinely guided in all areas. We are blessed by our musicians. We are blessed by our sound tech and our lighting tech, which is the same person. And we are blessed by our staff, and we are blessed by volunteers. We are blessed by everybody who has put this service together. And we are especially blessed to know that Reverend Sidney, our beloved Reverend Sidney, is guided by God in all the words she says and all the beautiful love that she shows us. God is absolutely guiding every single word, and she is channeling just beautifully. And we hear everything we need to hear. We learn everything we need to learn, and all of it is done with love. And with a grateful heart, I release my word into the law of mind. And so it is, and together we say, Amen. Now we read our statement of being, which is in your program, or on there, I hope. I don't know, but yes. Statement of being. I am divine truth in action. Today I stand in full and glorious recognition of my identity as infinite life and love. At the center of my being is Spirit's perfect pattern for wholeness, love, and vitality. I am completely infused, imbued, and embraced by nothing less than the perfect presence of God itself. My consciousness of God inspires and transforms me on every level, and I am radiantly alive and well. Beyond all appearances is divine truth, and I am divine truth in action. And so it is. Amen.
Love found me just in time. I was almost out of my chances. Pain and sorrow had a rhyme. I had given up on romances. I'd gotten out of line, forgotten the design. I was running blind in the forest. Love took me by the hand and helped me understand. Showed me something everyone's made of. Love, beautiful love, timeless and pure, truly divine, just in time. Took me by the hand and helped me understand. Showed me something everyone's made of. Love, beautiful love, timeless and pure, truly divine, just in time.
Oh, my. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to talk about messing up. My title tonight is The Life-Changing Magic of Messing Up. And what I want you to know is that what you might have told yourself about mistakes and messing up and doing things wrong, this is your chance to reframe it. This is your chance to think of another way of understanding what it is that you might have chosen to do or not chosen to do, what you did, what you didn't do, what you were calling wrong. We'll dive right in. So, in 1947, a young shepherd whose name was Muhammad Ed Deeb from Qumran in the West Bank got bored while looking for a stray goat. So he decided to throw some stones at a rock and work on his target practice. And he was tossing and he was doing really, really well. And at one point, he made a mistake. Missed the rock, it went into a hole. And he heard the sound of pottery breaking inside the hole. So he climbed in to investigate. What the heck was that? And was surprised to find several scrolls in a jar. This led to the discovery of the remains of more than 900 manuscripts in 11 caves. Eventually, the Dead Sea Scrolls were found to contain works from the Hebrew Bible, including copies of Genesis, Exodus, Isaiah, Kings, and Deuteronomy, as well as calendars, hymns, psalms, and more. And these were not the traditional versions. These were different versions. These had different gospels. This had all sorts of stuff in there. Had he not messed up and missed that rock, his target, who knows if we would find these wonderful, wonderful Dead Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi Gospels. They are the Gospels of learning. It is about a different learning. And one of the most famous lines from one of those comes from the Gospel of Thomas. And Thomas wrote, "If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you." So I just want you to think about that. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you don't bring forth will destroy you. Anyone ever have a deep desire, a deep dream, or a deep need to speak something, to tell a truth, and you spent lots of energy denying that, not doing it, thinking that maybe you are not worthy of doing it, or you don't have time, or you don't have the money, or you're the wrong person, or you're just not going to do it, or whatever that is? Do you notice that you have had that sense of, oh God, there's still something there that I have to do? That is a form of how those dreams within us can destroy us if we do not pay attention and bring them forth. The beliefs we hold about something or someone, including ourselves, color and can literally create the experiences we have, simply because we tend to interpret life according to the conclusions and the decisions we have made. Does that make sense? Anybody ever hear that before? Something like that? The frustrating thing about this, though, is that most of our conclusions and most of the decisions we have made about how life is and how people are, how we are, were made when we were about 4 or 5 years old. Now, I'm thinking I was a pretty bright kid, but I didn't have a lot of information about the world. I didn't have a lot of critical thinking skills. So if I don't look at what those, discern what those conclusions, those perceptions, all of that stuff was that I might have taken in at the age of 5, 4, 6, whatever, and if I don't begin to get curious and interrogate them and see if they actually are true for me, then basically at this age in my life, then I'm going to have a 4-year-old running my life. Now, I wouldn't do that when my son was 4. Why would I do that now with me? So you and I, as young children, come to some conclusions about what life is, and it's based on the stuff that has happened to us. Now, you might agree with me, like I said, that those conclusions, those decisions at the time are probably not very inspired, maybe not even true. So let me give you some examples. When I was about 7, my parents decided to separate. Now, at the time, they did all they could to stay fair and loving and attentive to both my brother and to me. But as I grew up and later became an adult woman in my 20s and 30s, I could see that my perceptions and my beliefs about men, about relationships, and most of all about trust, had been extremely influenced by the departure of my father as he became less active in my daily life. So it took some very deep, conscious work. It took questioning of my narratives, those stories that I carried, some of which I didn't even know that I carried. And I had to really look at what I was believing about men, about relationships. What had created those perceptions, I needed to know so that I could create new perceptions, new understandings, new choices about viewing life that were going to be based upon adult understanding instead of childhood trauma. Most of us have perceptions that are governing our lives that are based on childhood trauma. So here's another one. Every month, my mom would prepare to pay bills and to reconcile her checkbook and our finances. Now, this was a time of deep anxiety for her, and I've talked about this before, as she and my father had both grown up during the Depression. And so my mom's family narrative, and my dad's as well, by the way, was that there was never going to be enough money, that no matter how much you juggled those precious dollars and cents, those nickels and dimes, didn't see a lot of dollars, and making ends meet was always going to be very stressful and a very scary thing to try to do. So my mom would close herself into the room that served as our TV room, our guest room, and apparently our room of financial terror, with the words, "Don't disturb me for the next 3 hours. I have to pay bills and I'm really afraid." Now that is literally what she said every month. So can you guess how I grew up thinking about money and paying bills? Can you guess that maybe my extreme savant talent at procrastination might have been sourced in that? So my own relationship with money was absolutely formed by my experience of my mom's anxiety. It took me a long time and some very intentional work on my self-worth and my knowing of God as infinite abundance. Anybody have money stuff? Yeah? Oh, we all have money stuff. I don't care if you raised your hand or not. I started from ground zero to build my faith and my awareness of my oneness with God. And over time, I moved from living out of my mom's perceptions that I had co-opted to creating and living according to healthy and joy-filled perceptions of my deservedness and my innate wholeness as a divine expression of God. See, this is the thing. So many of us grew up in families that did not believe there was enough. We don't believe there's enough. We don't anchor with this God of abundance or this infinite universe that has more than enough. We always have the air to breathe. We have the floor to walk on. I have clothes that I'm wearing. I have this water to drink. We don't look at that stuff, those little things, and add them all up, gather them in together and say, I have all that I need. I have all I need. I have all that I need in this moment, right here and now. I have a ground to walk on. I have a microphone to speak through. I have water to drink. I have a voice to express truth. I have air to breathe. I have all that I need. I have infinite abundance right here and now. But most of us don't grow up that way, do we? We are raised with the narrative to be very worried. Don't be afraid, be very afraid about whether or not there's enough money. Will I keep my job? Will I get a job? Will there be enough over here or over there? And I have to say that this universe is fully, infinitely, lavishly, opulently, ridiculously, obscenely abundant. It is. It absolutely is, because God is ridiculously, insanely, opulently, ridiculously, obscenely abundant. You and I are made from God. What is true about God is true about us. It's true about you. It's true about me. True about you. Pronouns, I'll be working on that this week too. So the thing is, if we do not really take that in, really take it in, that God is a God of abundance. Spirit is a spirit of abundance. This life is a life of abundance. Whether you call God by the word God or something else, whatever that name is for you, to know that this universe is not only so incredibly, limitlessly abundant, but guess what? So is the divine intelligence, the harmony, and the order. Have you ever noticed that the stars stay up, the sand stays down? The planets orbit, they don't just suddenly stray off from those orbits and start spinning around galaxies. And these laws, spiritual laws, are just like physical laws. Gravity works the same for everybody. I can't just suddenly say, I'm going to take a day off from gravity. And if I piss gravity off, it still has to work for me. Even if I don't understand how it works, it still has to work for me. Even if I don't understand the principle of electricity, it will still work for me or against me. I can put a fork in a socket just as well as anybody. The results will be exactly what you would expect. Ernest Holmes would say, ignorance of the law, the spiritual laws, will excuse no one from their effects, right? So when we understand that the spiritual realm is absolutely just as reliable, as perfect and orderly as that physical construct of laws, be it gravity, be it electricity, be it thermodynamics, it absolutely always works. That's why we call them laws, not suggestions. It's spiritual law. So as I look back at the beliefs that I changed and that I reframed, I get that I am the perfect person to teach about prosperity, to teach about wholeness, to teach about spiritual trust and how to build faith. I have had to do my work in all of those areas, and now I can stand in my spiritual power and in my spiritual clarity, and more importantly, in trust and in joy. Now, if I wanted, I could stand here and say, man, they really made mistakes with me. Those parents, those wacky parents, they screwed me up. They made mistakes. They made mistakes. They made mistakes in how they taught me to love myself or believe in myself. They taught me, they made mistakes in money. They made mistakes in this. I could go on and on and on. Now, holding my family accountable and guilty might be fun for a minute or two. And I could feel justified in arguing for my limitations and all of that and their mistakes. But the thing is, that's just a distraction that the ego gives us. That's a distraction of the ego to keep us from staying fully connected in our innate divinity. When we get distracted by blame, by somebody else's stuff, or by thinking that we've been victims in any area of life, then the ego is satisfied and filled and nourished. And our heart is beginning to starve because it's not the truth. The truth is that we are divine beings. We are divine beings, regardless of what those ego constructs, and ego's not bad, but what happens is we tend to anchor so much in that place of appearances that what it becomes is separation. It becomes separation from our truth, separation from God. And the truth is we can never be separate. You can never, ever, ever, ever be separate from God. We can think that we are, again, those perceptions that we created when we were 4 years old about being separate perhaps from our families, from mother, from father. We can have that and live according to it, but the reality, the big R reality here is you and I can never be separate from God. We can't. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. Every mystic, every teacher through all wisdom texts, all wisdom traditions throughout the ages has taught a version of this by saying God whose center is everywhere and circumference is nowhere. You and I are centers for the divine operation of God. We are centers for God. We are franchises for God. Think about that. A franchise is fully supplied, right? It has the branding, it has the supply, it has everything it needs. You and I are franchises. Ernest Holmes wrote, this is a long passage, but I really, really like it. It's from the Science of Mind textbook. In mental work, we must realize that there is one infinite mind which is consciously directing our destiny. So declare every day that no mistakes have been made, none are being made, and none can be made. No mistakes are being made, none can be made. Declare there is one supreme intelligence which governs, guides, and guards, tells me what to do, when to act, and how to act. Boy, doesn't that feel a lot better than, oh man, I have no idea what I'm going to do here. I hope it works out. Then he writes, having done this in perfect faith, act with perfect assurance. Act with assurance. Declare further everything necessary, and this is the one that I live with every day of my life, everything necessary to the full and complete expression of the most boundless experience of joy is mine now. Everything necessary to the full and complete expression of the most boundless experience of joy is mine now. Wow, that feels good, doesn't it? Let's say it together. Everything necessary to the full and complete expression of the most boundless experience of joy is mine now. That is some powerful stuff. And Ernest writes that we should know this, we should see it, we should feel it, and we should be it. We should live as that. He says, do this every day for a few minutes. We should all do this until the time comes when it is no longer necessary. When that time comes, we will know because our demonstrations will have been made. And a demonstration is merely the outward appearance of that which we have been desiring. That's all it is. It's an affirmation of what we have been dreaming about inside, shows up out here, or shows up in the way we live our lives. We get this from Emma Curtis Hopkins, where she, with that powerful affirmation, this too is God, this too is good, this too is God, this too is good, this too is God, this too is good. The idea is that there is nothing apart from God. So the premise that I really want all of us to begin to live in and as is that idea that God always has a bigger idea. God always has a bigger idea. And when we know this, and we know that we know this, then we can come into the consciousness that all life is in God. All of it. And when I say God always has a bigger idea, you and I might think, well, that was a mistake. You know, Sydney, your mom really messed you up with her money. That was a mistake. No, God has a bigger idea because I get now a really, really strong sense of assurance about abundance, about source, about tithing, about spiritual practices. I get that. It was not a mistake. The bigger idea was for me to use that as an evolutionary trigger, if you will, to evolve into a greater idea of myself, or the greater idea of myself. It was a catalyst for growth. It was a catalyst for change. It was a catalyst for love, for trust. So we can declare that all of these things are catalysts for us to grow stronger, to grow better, to grow more love. Our part is to first declare that we know that God is all there is, and then to become willing to be curious. You didn't think I was going to say that, did you? So we must become willing and curious to see our lives and experiences differently. It's one of my favorite prayers from Course in Miracles. God, I'm willing to see this differently. God, I'm just willing to see this differently. When we are willing to see things differently, we open up to a higher way of thinking. And in your earthly brain, that lizard brain might be thinking, well, I'd like to think differently about this, but I really don't know very much. And I'm limited in what my resources are. But the truth is that one mind that we are all connected to and cannot escape, even if we wanted to, that one mind is absolutely saying, oh, good, there's an opening. There's the opening. That's how the light gets in. Now the light can get in. You know, we've all heard that quote from Rumi, that crack, that's where the light gets in. That's where the beauty gets in. And all Spirit needs is one little tiny opening. That's all Spirit needs is just one little opening of curiosity, one little opening of willingness to just say, okay, now I can bless. Now we can be blessed. when we become curious instead of judgmental, anybody? We invoke the divine and creative knowing that whatever our so-called mistakes have been, they're still part of God, whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere, or now here. When we realize that those mistakes aren't mistakes, that they're merely episodes, catalysts to growth, catalysts to expansion and evolution, then guess what? We can take that judgment off. And we can delve into that part of us that is our absolute most imminent, perfect connection to the divine that we are, our imagination. That is God within us. That is that Christ center. That is that Christ light. It is the imagination, that part of us that goes, oh, maybe we could fly. Maybe we could dance. Maybe we could invent things. Maybe we could create things. That's the imagination. So I want to offer you some stories about messing up, what seemed like messing up at the time. So a guy named Wilson Greatbatch, is that the best name ever? Wilson Greatbatch? He made a classic dumb move. He pulled the wrong part out of a box of equipment. It was a major act of, this I got from Inc. magazine online, INC, a major act of numbskullery. You've never heard me say that, and I probably never will again. That became a major part of saving millions of lives. In 1956, Greatbatch was working on building a heart rhythm recording device at the University of Buffalo. He reached into a box and pulled out a resistor of the wrong size and plugged it into the circuit. When he installed it, he recognized the rhythmic lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub sound of the human heart. The beat apparently reminded him of conversations he had had with other scientists about whether an electrical stimulation could make up for a breakdown in the heart's natural beats. Before then, pacemakers were these huge herking machines the size of TVs and refrigerators. Greatbatch's implantable device of just 2 cubic inches forever changed life expectancy in the world. Now more than 500,000 or more of the devices are implanted every year. Not bad for a numbskull, right? Here's another one. Spencer Silver was trying to develop a super strong adhesive for 3M Laboratories in 1968 and came up way short. Instead, he had invented the opposite, an adhesive that stuck to objects but could be easily lifted off, and thus was born the Post-it note. See, now some of you remember Forrest Gump, right? It was alluded to in that movie. Here's one, Wheaties. Wheaties. The legend behind this cereal's creation did actually begin with bran gruel. Sign me up. Which was what a clumsy dietitian at the Washburn Crosby Company was preparing in 1922 when he spilled some of it on a hot stovetop. The gruel, just the word makes you kind of cringe, doesn't it? The gruel drops sizzled and crackled into flakes. Well, he gave the flake a taste. There's a brave man. And he realized his accident had created something that tasted a lot better than gruel. You know, I'm going to say almost everything should taste better than gruel. Sofa stuffing would taste better than gruel. He got the head honchos at Washburn on board, and they tried 36 different varieties of the creation before developing the perfect flake that wouldn't crumble in the box. Even the name could have gone another way. The cereal was first released as Washburn's Gold Medal Whole Wheat Flakes. Rolls right off, doesn't it? Soon after, an employee contest resulted in the name being changed to Wheaties, allegedly beating out Nukies and Gold Medal Wheat Flakes. Richard Jones was a naval engineer. He was trying to make a meter designed to monitor power on naval battleships. He was working with tension springs when one of them fell to the ground. The spring kept bouncing from place to place after it hit the ground, and the Slinky was born. Like a little kid at Christmas, he had fun as he watched it and realized that this might be more than an experience of just messing up. If it weren't for a small mistake, are you liking these? Okay. I could have written a whole talk, but this is a lot more fun. If it weren't for a small mistake made by Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming in 1928, the last 90 years in our world would have looked very different, or could have looked very different. He discovered penicillin. So it was after a petri dish he had left out while on holiday became contaminated with the mold Penicillium notatum. He noticed that where the mold grew, bacteria didn't grow. And this led to the development and production of penicillin. He basically had a sink full of dishes that he neglected to wash before he went on vacation. So messing up can free us to pursue our goals. It can free us to pursue our goals. Theodore Roosevelt said, "The only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything." So while fear of failure can prevent us from trying new things, it really can, accepting mistakes as a part of life can offer us the opposite effect. It frees us up to pursue our goals without limitation. Once we realize, well, I could screw it up. Okay, good. Make big messes. Let's make big messes. And messing up teaches us about who we are. When Oscar Wilde wrote that experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes, he hit on something very important. Messing things up is a crucial part of learning about ourselves and our lives. And the Harvard Business Review has talked about that in the context of corporate culture. A culture that makes it safe to admit and report on failure can, and in some organizational contexts, must coexist with high standards for performance. So that's what I seek to do here, is to embrace and to lead all of us into a place where we can make mistakes and be loved. Where we can make mistakes and still know that we are loved, that we are acceptable, that we are still God. That thing that we call a mistake is an expansion of our being. It is that call from that thing within us that has said, bring me forth, or leave me there and watch your life get destroyed, but bring it forward so that you might be blessed. So other things that came about from mistakes: microwave ovens, Scotchgard, the inkjet printer, silly putty, cornflakes, x-rays, insulin. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. got a C in public speaking. Michael Jordan didn't make the varsity basketball team his sophomore year of high school. 6 years later, he was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. Steven Spielberg was rejected by the SC Film School 3 times. Fred Astaire was famously rejected during a Hollywood screen test when it was said that he can't act, slightly bald, dances a little. In 1961, the Beatles were told by this agent guy, A&R guy, that, quote, guitar groups were on their way out. 5 months later, they received their break from George Martin and released their first song, their first hit, Love Me Do. So messing up is about being more than tenacious, right? It's more than that. It's about listening to your soul's call. It is about listening to it despite what the appearances are, despite what is going on in the world, despite what somebody might tell you about whether they think you're good, despite what you might tell you about whether or not you think you're good enough. It's about responding to those moments when your heart beats faster and you start to sense this big yes in your body, a big yes in your body. So I want to invite you to let yourself mess up. Please mess up. Please do that. This is about play. We get so serious in our world. And I just really want you to know that this wonderful presence that we call God, that we call Spirit, that we call love, is exactly that, love. And that the joy of creation comes from play. The joy of creation comes from love. The joy of creation comes from looking at those things that maybe don't come together right away, and we say, okay, I wonder what could happen here. It's where we get curious. Let yourself be free to play, to try, to create, and to call upon your imagination and your soul's power. I promise you that just as the Gospel of Thomas told us all those many hundreds of years ago, That if you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. But if you bring it forth, it will save you. It will save you. It will bless you. Bring it forth, and may your every mess bless you and lift you into a greater knowing of your divinity, your possibilities, and your connection with the infinite love and the order of God. Let's pray. All right. So, breathing in to this great awareness once again that there is one power and one presence, that infinite creator. It is both creator and created. It is source and substance. It is that which all life is connected with, lives as, expresses in and from. And that you and I are absolutely one with and one of this. I know and I sense and I feel my deep connection to this presence. And I know that as I do that, I know that for everyone who is within the sound of my voice, I know this for everyone on this planet, that we are divine creations of spirit. We are God expressing. We are God expressing. We are God expressing. We are that love. We are that power and presence, that joy. That which God is, we all are. For we are indeed chips off the block. We are part of that presence. So I know for all of us, as I speak from our shared divinity, that this evening is the turning point. This is the shifting point where we recognize that there are no mistakes to be made. There is only creation to take place. There is only exploration to take place. There is only love to be expressed. And that which we have previously called a mistake is absolutely a seed being planted in the infinite genius, the radiant brilliance that is the truth, the presence of that Christ mind within each and every one of us. How wonderful to know this, and to know that just the recognition of that lifts us and moves us into a place of receptivity, of being empowered, and of knowing that right here and right now, whatever it is that has been going on is gone, is dissolved, is done, and we are healed. For that is the nature of God. That is the nature of each of us. I don't care what has gone before. Whatever that story is, we let go of that story and move into the glory, the true glory that each of us knows, that we know within our hearts, whether we've intellectually ever put words to it or not, that there is a power for good in the universe and we can use it, and we do use it right here and right now. So I know that this church serves as a blessing to all of our lives, and that we also bring into our minds, our hearts, those people whom we love, who are perhaps calling for more love tonight, more compassion, more understanding, whether they be family members or someone across the globe. We know for them that the power and presence of love is surrounding and filling them and lifting them in this moment, right here, right now, and they are indeed shifted into that high and holy experience called God. We bless this church. We bless all churches everywhere, all paths to God, all mosques, all ashrams, all temples, all synagogues, all cathedrals, places under bridges where people meet, where two or more are gathered, wherever people's hearts are connecting. We know that God is going on, that light is being shared, and that we are indeed a blessing to ourselves and to this world, and that all of it is for good. We declare this and we know this from the deepest part of our being, that right where we are, God is and all is well. So with gratitude, I release this word into law, the activity of the law, knowing it is already done, and together we say, amen. I'm so grateful. 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 I am. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Yeah, I'm so grateful. So this is the time in our service when we invite you to share your gifts, your tithes, your love offerings. And I invite you to simply hold that offering in your hand and hold that to your heart, and then to say with me our blessing. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. Amen.
Oh, I'm so grateful. 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 Ooh. When you're weary, when you're feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, God will dry them all. God's on your side. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters, God is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters. God is all around. Oh, yes. Well, when you're down and out, oh, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, well, God will comfort you. Yes, He will. God will take your part. Yeah, when evening comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters, God is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters. God is all around. Oh, yes. Like a bridge over troubled water. Hey. Sail on, silver girl. Oh, you gotta sail on by. Your time has come. You know you gotta shine, 'cause all your dreams are on their way. You see how they shine when you need a friend, and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled waters. like a bridge over troubled waters. You're gonna get through this time. Yes, you will. Oh, you gotta do what you gotta do. Hey, oh, God is all around. Ooh, God is all around.
Oh. Tina Meeks, David Joyce, thank you so much. Oh, good Lord.
Oh my God. Now for announcements for tonight. On your bulletin, you will see how to make donations to our church through our text to give number, our QR code, or through our website, nhcrs.org/give. Prayer with a practitioner is available after the service in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Every Sunday at 9:45 a.m., our junior church is open. If you have babies, kids, teens, we have a place for them all. Every Wednesday night, we offer a fabulous midweek service. It starts with meditation at 6:50 p.m. and moves into music, wisdom, and healing prayer at 7 p.m. Next week, practitioner Mark Crowell's topic is Fair Forward Voyagers, embarking on new beginnings.
You know, I just want to say one thing about Fair Forward Voyagers embarking on new beginnings. We're embarking on a new beginning. Has anyone heard about that?
Yes, we are.
You know what? This would be a good time to bring your friends, bring your family, because we want to raise the vibration of this entire church, this community, this town, this state, this world. Bring your friends, don't you think?
Yes, I'm going to bring my friends.
Okay. You heard it
I
here.
have lots of them too.
I know.
Very
I've
lucky.
seen your friends. I like them.
They're nice.
They're good people.
Walk the labyrinth. Come one, come all, and support your soul with the peace and blessings of the labyrinth walk. This Friday, May 24th, at 6:30 p.m. is the orientation and explanation for first-time walkers, and we walk from 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday is May 25th is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's a healing walk. Sign up Sunday on the patio to support this event. This is too late.
You can just show up and be here. It's so
Come
beautiful.
on.
We move all of the chairs, and the labyrinth is in here, and there are candles. It's breathtaking.
A wonderful experience. Practitioners are all around it praying for you, or you could pray with them if you want. I just wanted to add that. Okay. Our prayer shawl ministry, facilitated by practitioner Lisa Barish, will meet this Sunday on the church lawn during the barbecue at 1 p.m. So if you want to learn, I won't say anymore, I'm not supposed to. Okay. Grief support on Zoom with practitioner Carol Winokur meets this Sunday at 1 p.m. on Zoom. The Zoom link is on our website. Join us this Sunday for a barbecue on the lawn after the second service to celebrate Dr. Mark. Wear your favorite Hawaiian attire. Great food, music, and fun for the whole family.
With some surprises.
Ooh, I love that. Ooh, I can't wait. Save the date, June 9th, Taste of Soul fundraiser to help send our teens to summer camp on the church lawn, 12:30 p.m. Soul food, face painting, music, silent auction, raffle, and much more. Get tickets on the patio. Volunteers and donations are welcome. Last Sunday, we dedicated the Mary Bullard Chapel in the Ernest Holmes room. Please stop by on Sunday to see it and enjoy the space. Zoom virtual patio before and after Sunday and Wednesday services. Zoom meditation meets every morning, Monday through Saturday, 7:55 a.m. through 8:15 a.m. Visit our website, nhcrs.org, for Zoom links, information, and to sign up for weekly e-blasts and monthly newsletters. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. All right. So what do we do now? We've got a closing song. It's called Stand, which you can if you want to. For peace, let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now.
Making a new world now.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Key change. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. One more time. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. All right. So I invite you all to move out into the world filled with joy, filled with love, filled with the zest of the here and now. I surround each soul here in a spiritual, divine, energetic tube of light protection energy. It is impenetrable, invulnerable, and invincible. A ring pass not. Nothing shall touch us but the direct action of God. And this is love. This is the truth. God knows it. I know it. And I know that I know it. And it is so. And so I invite you to repeat after me. I am at home in the heart of God.
I am at home in the heart of God.
My life is anchored in truth.
My life is anchored in
I can never be separate.
I can never be separate.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I release all fear.
I release all fear.
I am living love.
I am living love.
Have a wonderful, blessed week.